Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. We're going to have many episodes wherein we will be addressing a few queries at a time. Okay, ito po yung mga ini-email nyo sa akin, pini-PM nyo sa akin, minsan sa comment section. Okay, I guess we're gonna start that with some of our sukis. Sa ngayon, ang kausap po natin to help us answer your questions is Miss G, Miss Geraldine Vallarayil ng GHB Immigration. Her agency is based in Edmonton, but she can help you out also if you need help kahit nasa ibang bahagi kayo ng Canada. Hello, Miss G.
Hi, Miss Ina.
Oh,
Yeah, nice to
oh.
be here again.
Miss G's email will be crawling throughout our episode. O, nakita niyo yung title natin. Ito yung una nating question related po dyan. Actually, parang, I'm trying to recall, I think I had an episode, something to do with this,
Mhm.
mga 2 years ago, maybe. Parang may mga na-report na nahuling gumagawa nito. Okay? Pero sige, may nagtanong rin po kasi sa comment section yan, ano? Ito ang kanyang tanong. Hold on, tanggalin natin tong banner. Ano ba yan? Okay, sabi niya, Miss Ina, pwede niyo ba i-consider next topic? Paki-educate po kami. May mga kilala raw sila na tourist ang documents, pero sa pagsisinungaling na may work permit daw sila. Kaya nakaka-apply sa multiple jobs. Ang tanong, paano ang SIN nila? Kasi kinukuha ng employer or HR para i-file. Matatrack ba nila yung ganyan? Sa gayong wala namang SIN talaga ang mga tourists or visitors. Please, unique topic daw yan.
Mm.
Okay, guys, FYI, nabanggit nung commenter yung HR. Miss G used to be an HR, HR
I
head?
was
HR manager?
my title was a senior resource manager, but this was actually a recruitment manager.
All right, okay. So she had experience. Ito handling yung mga SINs, yung mga ganyan kapag nag-hire
Mm.
ng mga naka-work permit. So what do you think about that, Miss G? Paano
Mm.
nangyayari na merong ilang mga tourists, visitors, umano, nagkakaroon ng access sa SIN?
Oo. So sabi mo nga, Miss Ina, no, ang SIN is only issued to people na merong legal authorization to work. No? So katulad ng mga may valid work permit o yung mga estudyante with work authorization, mga permanent residents, and of course yung mga Canadian citizens. So yung mga tourists, yung mga visitors are not eligible for SIN or SIN under any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Yun nga, I was before in a role of in a recruiting. So as an employer, we are required, or I am required, and even my team, by law, na i-verify ang SIN and
Mm-hmm.
work authorization bago yan i-hire. Now, I remember for the scene, if we see na nag-i-start ang scene with 9, means to say mga ano yan, temporary residents or meron
Okay.
silang work authorization. Now, and it has expiry date then.
All right. Oh.
Unlike pag PR and citizen, it starts with 0 and I think up to 7 and
Mm-hmm.
walang expiry ang if it's for the PR and citizens. No?
Okay.
So kailangan din naming i-check kung meron ba yung work permit or study permit with work authorization, and of course the expiry date, no, kung temporary residence yung aplikante. So I would say kapag ang aplikante is nag-provide ng fake SIN or nagsinungaling for, sabi nga ng ating viewer, ng work permit, so mapapenalize doon ng employer for hiring someone without authorization.
All right.
Mm-mm.
But where do they get the SINs? Now I'm trying to, naalala ko na yata, ang
Mm-mm.
yung sinasabi ko, hindi pala episode ang nagkaroon ako about this. I think I saw one Filipino vlogger talking about this. Kinakwento niya yung experience ng kakilala niya.
Mm-mm.
Parang ganun, ano? Ang nangyari daw doon, Miss G, merong kakunsaba nagpapahiram ng SIN sa mga walang status, ganyan, or walang SIN, naka-tourist siguro. Ang nangyari doon, nagkahulihan. Parang ganon. But is it easy to get away with that if, as you mentioned, verify din dapat nung HR? Kung babalikan, I'm trying to recall, parang construction workers nga yung sinabi dun sa Facebook na yun. Do those things really happen? Are those common? Sabi yun bawal yun guys, bawal, don't do that.
Yes, bawal na bawal because working without a proper authorization is a serious immigration violation. No, walang patawad dyan. But then there are several ways na pwedeng i-track yung unauthorized work. Like for example, remember ang ating SIN is linked to payroll information na nire-remit sa CRA, right? They can validate that. Actually, I remember when I was working as a recruiter. So we do have, there is an app, I believe it was from ESDs. I don't remember exactly the app or the website wherein kapag in-input mo yung SIN, it will say whether it's valid or invalid. No? But the thing is, it's not easy for us to match yung person's identity.
Yun.
So, oo, kasi ang SIN natin, walang picture yan, di ba?
Kasi nga, kung meron nagpahiram sa kanila, Miss G, edi legit. Kung i-search mo yung SIN, it exists. It's just a matter of figuring out if it is that person claiming it. Ganon, oo.
Yes, and also we are not allowed then humingi ng copy ng SIN. No, actually even just the number is enough kapag nag-a-apply ng trabaho. No, but in some cases, like in my practice those days, I really asked at least pakita yung original SIN because it has the name. I know, and then of course another government issued ID and to cross check, okay, nagmamatch ba yung pangalan sa SIN and pangalan dun sa government issued ID. So if yes, then okay, then it's good to hire that person. And IRCC and CRA systems definitely they can cross-reference work permits and SIN.
Oo. Kailangan pa ba nating sabihin kung ano ang likely outcome if mahuli itong mga gumagawa nito? Kasi ang nabanggit mo kanina, Ms. G, masasanction si employer hiring these people. How about yung tourists and visitors? What do you think is going to happen to them kung mahuli sila? Maging yung mga nagpapahiram ng SIN.
Yes. Siguro add ko rin, Miss Ina, no, it's always possible na ma-audit din ang employer for hiring unauthorized workers. But in many cases, di ba, merong mga nagsusumbong. So,
I know.
Diyan yun talagang nagkakahulihan. No, so yun nga, what happens kapag nagtrabaho illegally ang isang tourist or ang naka-visitor's visa? So, ang consequences dyan, of course, removal from Canada. And then, of course, once you've been removed sa Canada, then you'll be banned from re-entering and future visa refusals, of course. Sa employer naman, can be fined or sanctions even the permit, the business permit.
Okay. So that is, okay, that's it for our first email or commenter yata itong kinuha kong una. No? Okay, thanks Miss G. Guys if you have questions kung ano-ano, basta immigration related, you can put them in the comment section. Babasahin ko yan. And then when I have time, I will select some and answer them in future episodes. Okay? Next one. Naku, iba naman ito. Ask ko lang, if nag-apply daw siya ng VOWP, Vulnerable Open Work Permit, na-approve, pwede pa rin daw ba siyang magtrabaho dun sa employer niya if sakaling renew ulit din niya yung kontrata ko? I assume ito yung employer na inalisan niya kaya siya nakakuha ng Vulnerable Open Work Permit. Ikaw talaga, kuya. Okay, go, Ms. G.
Yes, Ms. Ina, nung binabasa ko nga yan. So it looks like, of course, when you open for a Vulnerable Open Work Permit, means to say there is an abuse happening from your employment dun sa employer mo na yon. So dun sa question, pwede mo bang balikan? Your credibility can be questioned kasi naabuso ka na nga dun sa employer na yon. Bakit babalikan mo pa?
Exactly. Oo
At
nga.
saka, oo, hangarin ako dun sa employer kasi naireklamo na nga, bakit tatanggapin pa yung foreign worker?
Oo nga eh, oo.
Oo.
I'm thinking baka naman ano pa lang 'tong si worker, nasa isip pa lang niya, makipagbati kaya ako 'no, dun sa employer na nireklamo ko. Oh my gosh, kuya iba ka rin
Oo.
ano.
Pwede rin
Oo.
naman yun, i-web form niya sa IRCC yung development ng kanilang relationship, employee-employer relationship. No? So para malinis naman yung employer, yung pangalan ng
Oo.
employer.
Oo, but then you're right, Miss G. Siguro the assessing officer, o hindi, paano baka iniisip niya kasi naka-VOWP na siya eh, baka in-effect yung open work permit niya.
Mm-mm.
But then, he will just go back to the original employer. Hindi naman malalaman agad nung ano yun, ng ESDC or what, right? Na bumalik na rin sa original employer. Baka ganun na nga sa isip niya.
Yes, oo, hindi malalaman ng, of course, it's an open work permit can work with kahit dun sa dati niya employer or any
Oo.
other employer. No, but then of course magre-reflect yan through kung it's a legal job ang ginagawa niya, mararamit sa CRA and it will reflect na nagtatrabaho siya dun sa employer na inalisan niya. Di ba? He cannot keep any secret there.
But
Yeah.
but what will the CRA do about that, like, information?
It's just for tracking. No? Yun nga, inalisan niya yan, nag-apply siya ng vulnerable open work permit. Di ba pag sinabi nating vulnerable open work permit, may abuso na nangyayari
Mhm.
dun sa employer na yon, kaya mo inalisan. No? And then the IRCC found a reasonable doubt na mayroon talagang abuso. That's why na-issuehan ka ng vulnerable open work permit. So,
Right.
I just don't feel right na babalik ka dun sa dati mong employer na yun nga, nareklamo in
Oo.
another term. So,
Oo.
yeah.
Dun sa nag-send nito, no, sure ka bang tatanggapin ka kaya nung employer mo? There's something off with your story kasi with your ano, no, yung nasa isip mo. Kasi nga nireklamo mo si employer mo tapos alam niya yun, di ba? Alam niya yun na nireklamo mo siya.
Yeah.
And then babalik ka sa kanya. Isa pang naisip ko dyan, Miss G, what if dumating sa point, sabihin mo nang nakabalik siya for some reason, mag-apply ng PR. Makikita ba yun? Teka muna, naka-VOW pick up but you stuck with the same employer. Could that be misrepresentation or like fraud? Kasi you lied.
Yes, yeah, you have the point there, Miss Ina. So definitely, so sabi nga natin, no, all declarations made at the time of all our visa or permits application, naka-ano na yan eh, naka-stamp na yan, no, naka-record na siya. So if the visa officer is, we can say talagang very perfectionist and mabusisi talaga sa pag-assess ng application, matatrace yan for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yan na ha. We answered your question. I hope it helps. Baka gusto mo akong i-update ha, kung ginawa mo yan, ikaw talaga. Let's move on to the third and last for this episode. Okay? Ayan. Pwede po ba magtanong? May possible po ba? Nako, this is a very common concern. Sa totoo lang, I always receive these questions. And I will continue. Teka nga, tanggalin ka muna. Alam ko naman na hindi po kasi lahat nakakanood ng mga episodes natin, no? So kahit na nauulit minsan, we'll just do it para lang dun sa mga bagong nanonood sa atin. Okay, pwede po ba magtanong, possible po ba na ma-approve ng IRCC yung papers na pinasa nila bilang common law dyan sa Canada? Kahit may karelasyon yung babae, may anak po, pero hindi kasal, I assume sa Pilipinas. Dapat po ngayong March 10, nito na pala, last month pa to, nakauwi na po siya ng Pilipinas, pero mas pinili po niya magstay para dun sa offer sa kanya ng matandang Pinoy na citizen sa Canada. na yun, mag-common law sila or kasal para ma-PR daw yung babae. Wala na po bang ibang paraan para po makabalik po siya sa Pinas sa lalong madaling panahon? O may crying emoji pa siya. So, I assume it's the husband. Oo, yung ganyan. Have you encountered this type of client, Miss G, or concern?
Wala pa akong ganyang kliyente. No, but then, yeah, it's a sad story actually. The very napakaraming kababayan natin na na-experience yan. But unfortunately, I've watched one of your episodes with Attorney Jake, no? Like what he said, unfortunately, magkaiba kasi ang tawag dito ang law ng Pilipinas at ng Canada, no? So dito definitely oo, lalo na in that letter, Miss Ina, hindi rin sila kasal sa Pilipinas, di ba? Parang common.
Yeah, oo nga.
So the hold is very mahina talaga. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there's nothing much they can do for that.
Correct. Meron ako naisip though. Please correct me if I'm mistaken dito sa idea ko, no? What will happen if the husband goes to IRCC or CBSA? IRCC pala, no? Kasi may magkakaroon ng pending application for spousal sponsorship si babae, right?
Yeah.
Sabihin niya na ano yan, alam mo, nanirahan lang yan dyan para sa PR. It's marriage fraud. Hindi naman, may tunay na ano yan, karelasyon back home although they're not married. Could that affect the spousal sponsorship and get it denied?
It's possible, no? If they really prove na it's a fraud, like parang marriage for convenience lang ang mangyayari. And remember din, sa pag-apply ng PR application, now, depende kung nasa ang province. Okay, because I have a current application ongoing. For example, for Saskatchewan, no? Kung hindi accompanying ang spouse or ang common law partner, may anak sila, no? And then nasa dependent age ang mga bata. So hihingian ng tawag mo doon, yung documents between the spouses. Oh my God, I'm not getting the term for that. Support, custody, the custody support or letter explaining, no, bakit hindi mag-accompany ang common law or ang spouse, no? And yun nga, it's mandatory dun sa documents ng mga bata, whether accompanying or not, yung document.
Oh, so what you're saying, Miss G, is yung woman, pwede niyang hindi i-declare kasi yung partner niya in the Philippines because they're not married, right?
Yeah, they're not.
Okay, but if she wants to make things right sa kanyang child, dapat i-declare niya na meron siyang anak na nasa Pilipinas. Tama ba yun?
Yes, Miss Ina, and definitely, nung initial application bago pumasok ng Canada, no, we can assume na dineclare niya na
Oo nga pala, yeah. Oo, no?
So, hindi niya na mababago yung story na yun.
Right. Pero kung hindi sila married, there's a possibility, Miss G, na hindi niya dineclare. What do you think?
Yeah, we never know. Yeah, kasi sa atin, di ba, yung context ng common law partner, parang hindi pa
Hindi masyado clear sa atin yan eh. Oo.
Yes.
Pero kung dineclare niya yung anak niya, it could raise some questions dun sa spousal sponsorship, no?
Yes,
Pwede
yes,
ba yun?
possible. So ang iingatan niya talaga dyan is to prove na legitimate yung relationship niya with a guy here in Canada and prove na hindi talaga siya marriage for convenience.
Yan. Okay. Doon sa nagpadala, no, I know it's unfortunate and sadly, ang dami pong ganyang nangyayari, no. Naghihiwalay pagdating po dito sa Canada, nakakahanap ng iba dito, whether for love or for PR, that is the reality, no. Doon sa nag-send, ano ba palagay mo, no? Talagang marriage on convenience ba? Magbabayad ba siya? O talagang they are in a genuine relationship? Kung magsusumbong ka, i-assess yan ng IRCC. Anyway, okay. So that is it. Yan lang po ang tatlo nating sasagutin for this episode. But I will have another one with Miss G. Ayan, another 3 queries to be addressed there. I'll see you then. Thank you so much, Miss G, for answering these questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!